Hey legends, what an episode we have for you today. We have one of the great characters on and off the field in the AFL, Jack Higgins from St Kilda. I defy anyone to not love this guy. I just sat here and you can't not love him. He's so electric. He's so energetic. He's a special person. He's a special footballer, as we've seen for St Kilda this year. We go through his time at Richmond, which was walking into a dynasty. We go through the incredible recovery he had across his brain injury and his transition into St Kilda, where he's absolutely killing it up forward and playing like a centre-half forward, if you ask me. This show had it all, AFL fans. Let's get into it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the Unlaced podcast. As I always say, if you are new here, thank you for turning up. If you've come back again, I absolutely love you. We had a big episode last week with Suited and Booted TV. They are fast becoming the number one soccer or football podcast in the country. So go back and check that out if you haven't. Today we've got a man that you can't not love, you can't not admire for what he does on the footy field and just the way he communicates off it. He's actually probably as much of an intense soccer fan as I am, which I've been learning just before we've jumped on. But we've got the goal sneak, the cheek, the madman, the guy who can kick him from anywhere, St Kilda's forward pocket. I'd class you as a full forward or centre-half forward the way you play, but Jack Higgins, bro, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Snacky, for having me. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
I cannot believe when I messaged you, you said, mate, I've listened to your pods. I'm a massive A-League fan. I've seen you play.
Yeah.
That I thought you were pulling my leg. Then you come in here and you actually did.
Yeah, I used to love the A-League. Used to go to all the games back in the... what are they called?
Blue and White Brigade?
Yeah,
Were they called that?
Yeah. I used to walk down the streets of the chanting, back in the day.
Mate, that's crazy. Do you still watch it now? We were speaking about it's fallen off a bit.
It's fallen off a bit, but I still love it. I still love. I've got a few mates who just play in it and this, that, the other. So I always watch it. And I love it. I love it because it's on a good time. So I love soccer.
Yeah.
But it's just awesome to see. I just love like the soccer, like the atmosphere. You know what I mean? The game.
The European. Have you been to any games? Have you been overseas and seen some of those games?
Nah, I've never been overseas.
Right, you ever?
I've been overseas many times. Don't you forget about that, Snaky.
Yeah, I was going to say, mate, how many off seasons you had now?
Yeah, 7. 6, sorry.
7.
6.
Yeah,
trying to make it 50.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never been overseas to watch a soccer game, but I've.
Oh, bro, that'll change your life, man.
Yeah.
That's what made me want to play it.
Yeah,
I grew up in Melbourne, so I wanted to be a footy player.
Of course.
I was St Kilda. Robert Harvey was God.
Yeah.
So as you would, same thing,
definitely.
right? Like literally. And then I went to a Premier League game in England. I'm like, oh, this is sick.
Yeah.
I want to do this, you know? So
especially the dollars. So.
yeah. Well, that's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
Which that's probably a big reason why the A-League's fallen off.
Yeah, of course.
But mate, pretty cool that you knew that.
Yeah, no. I remember you running around back in the day.
Yeah, there you go, bro. Well, I've been watching you run around for a while, mate. So you didn't know that I went to Corfu Grammar, though, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
So
I knew such a good bloke.
yeah, likewise, mate. Likewise.
I'm a shit bloke.
Yeah. So, but what's interesting, and I actually knew this, you said it before we jumped on, is that you dropped out of year 12.
Yeah.
Is that because you knew you were going to get drafted?
No, it's not at all. And that's the one thing I hate. When anyone says that to me, I was like, I don't hate you.
No, but why did you then?
Because I was horrific at school. And school wasn't my thing.
And Caulfield's fucking hard school, bro.
It's a hard school. It's a great school, but it's a hard school.
Correct. A great school, but fucking hard.
It's what the thing that gives me the heebie-jeebies, if that's a word, about it is like, why in year 12 you just concentrate on footy? No, I was horrific. I wanted to save my parents money.
Yeah, smart.
It's like, why would you do something if you don't enjoy it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? School's not for everyone. I would have been doing a trade.
So it's
I would have been
actually
doing
quite honourable what you did.
Yeah, 100%. Everyone's giving me flack about it. I'm like, bro, I'm doing it. I'm not going to go to university. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be running podcasts with you, man.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah. I have Haaland here, you know?
Yeah. Bro, I didn't finish school either.
Yeah, cool. Man, and that's the thing. I copped so much flack of it back in the day and sometimes still do now. It's like, mate, it's your life. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Surely you're not copping flack now. Fucking
Nah. Not as much anymore. But it's like, mate, in 40 years, if I'm a plumber or I'm doing something in business, no one's going to go, oh, did you do year 12? Do you have everything? It's like, no, it wasn't for me.
Yeah. You had a pretty good though footy career coming in. Like you must have, as much as school wasn't for you, I reckon you still had a very strong eye on the AFL though around that age bracket because you were kicking goals. I looked at your stats for charges; they were elite, and then your Vic Metro games as well. You played really well in all of those. So, I guess footy for you. How did that all sort of come about? Because you're not the tallest,
Yeah.
but you've as we spoke before, you got the footy smarts. You love kicking goals. You play fierce. You kind of put a bit like Russell Westbrook. You play 110% every game, which is what people love.
Yeah.
So when was footy like that? This is what I'm going to go after, or did it just kind of naturally happen for you?
It naturally sort of happened. I was down at Ormond. I was kicked.
You won some flags there, didn't you?
Yeah. A few flags down there, mate.
Yeah.
So I was down at Ormond. I was just sort of enjoying my footy and stuff, and I sort of got under 9s, under 10s, and under 8s. Oh, not even under 8s. I was always playing 2 age, and I was decent. Like, it was good. And then I always wasn't the best in school. And I think something like some of my brain injury affected my learning. Yeah. That's not an excuse. Yeah. But I think it did, and that's what the surgeon sort of said to me. So I didn't know that back then. Don't mind.
Oh, so did you? When did you have? Wait, can I ask? When did you have that initial brain injury then?
When I was my second year of AFL, so I would have been.
That 20. I knew. But you're okay. So
I didn't have an injury before that.
Oh, right.
But later in a track, that's what the surgeon said to me. This could have affected some globe. There's a million globes in there. But anyway, actually, it's an excuse.
No. That could actually fucking be real, though, right?
Of course, yeah, definitely. And I just sort of never really enjoyed school. Just loved hanging around my mates. And remember about 9 and 10, I used to go live across the road from a park, and me and Dad always used to have a kick. And then I was getting better and better. It's just sort of one thing, and we were out there every day, practicing, kicking, playing games. Like, funny story goes that across the road of Cooper Park, when I was about 8, 9, 10, me, Dad, and mates from school, my small little Catholic school in Caulfield, we used to go down. We met at the park at 8:30 on a Saturday. Anyway, and it was a mini goal square, and we used to play. We used to kick, have mini games, and then all of a sudden you just get random kids involved. So sometimes we were having 15 versus 15 in a mini goal square.
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah. It grew. And then I have people, like, even these days, like, random in the streets, like, I remember you and your dad down at the Caulfield Park goal square, like, Louis Phillips, a guy I know really well, a good fella. Yeah. He's like, I used to train you and your dad. It wasn't training, it was just having fun and game. And that's
in runner Louis Phillips.
Yeah, runner Louis Phillips.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't remember you.
Shadowing
must not been pretty good. Nah, Louis is a top fella.
Yeah, he's a good fella.
But it's so weird. I think that's where I sort of got my game sense. I think that's, if I link it back to the EPL with the academies and all of it, so I think that's when you learn your footy smarts or your craft is when you're young. Yeah. You don't really learn it when you're 16, 17, but when you're young and learning the game, I think that's where I sort of got my footy smarts.
Right.
In that way, playing against different age levels. Like, some guys were 11, I was 8. That's amazing. Some guys were 6. You know what I mean? I was playing against all different ages.
So you pick up things, don't you? Stuff. And you help people as well, which also helps you learn. And you give them back advice.
And I was smaller, playing against bigger people. I was bigger. You know what I mean? You just sort of get body work. Anyway, it's a young age, but that's where I think I've sort of learnt.
That's actually a good point, the bodywork stuff, because that's something you're really good at now, which you've been in the AFL for quite a while now, but with your stature, to be able to understand how to use your body against some of these bigger guys, you've actually probably been doing that your whole life.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've built that up. I mean, was that something you ever had to focus on, or was that something just your intensity and your desire to get the footy kind of overtook how you would maybe technically maneuver your body against some of these guys?
Because going back to when I was a junior, I used to play 2 years up, a year above my age. So I'd be playing 2 games a week, basically. So I used to play under 9s and under 10s, or then the year above. Like, then when I was under 10s, I played under 11. So I was always playing against bigger people.
Right.
So I sort of had to learn that, otherwise I wouldn't get the footy. Yeah. So I think that was one thing. I'm decently technical at it and learning to know when to push, but I've learned that from a very young age.
Yeah, dude. I find it special because they kind of make it out like, I mean, small forwards are so key, but you kind of play sometimes like a tall forward as well. Yeah, it's weird. It's we're pretty lucky to have you, I think, St Kilda. Everyone knows, and I'm going to say this again, I know I've got mates that play for Collingwood and I've barracked for Collingwood, but St Kilda was the team that my dad and my poppy went for. So St Kilda's been in my blood. I was at the 98 or 97 grand final when we lost, crying on the way home. Yeah.
So was it the 9, 10?
Oh, fuck,
grand finals. And then I remember when I was maybe 6 or 7, I remember I was bawling my eyes out. I think I got rolled in Port Adelaide.
Yeah, Rob Harvey. They should have 04. Well, then Port Adelaide won it.
Yeah, Port Adelaide won. Yeah, and I remember Dad gave me $50 and the tears went away. Pretty quick.
There we go. Mate.
Went down and got FIFA from Blockbuster.
Blockbuster, FIFA 04. What a game. What a game. Well, mate, there we go. So this is going to be a good pod for all the Saints fans. I mean, footy fans in general, but Saints fans. Do you have a game day routine? Are you someone that tries to not fall into that trap, or are you pretty rigid?
I do have a routine. it sort of just depends. Like if I play well, the boys win and it'll change. You know what I mean? It's just
okay.
I'm horrific at that, and I got to get out of it. But
can you give me some of the stalwarts of the morning and the lunchtime, Dave? What would it be?
So in the morning, I normally not for the old pasta sort of thing. Like I'll stay up to 12:30, 1 a.m. night before, just playing PlayStation.
I love Jack Higgins.
Playing PlayStation or doing something. I'm watching just Netflix. I don't even know what I do, man. Anyway, and I wake up in the morning. It depends what time the game is. I'll go have 10 shots of goal down the local park, and then I'll go to Elwood Beach, put the head under, sort of wake yourself up, and then I sort of, it's weird, and I sort of go home and get in the crazy catch. Like, I love Juice WRLD. You Juice WRLD, man?
Juice WRLD, love him.
I love him, man.
Love him,
Same
bro.
last name.
Oh, really?
Higgins, yeah, Jared Higgins.
Is that his name?
Yeah. So
I never knew his real name.
Nah, he's the GOAT, man.
Do you know an interesting fact when he died? Do you know who was in the plane with him when he had the seizure?
Who?
Kid Leroy.
Oh, really?
Who's an Indigenous Australian from Sydney.
I love Kid Leroy.
You've watched him just drop.
I've seen him live. He was
have you?
Yeah. Got COVID that day. Anyway.
There you go. We are going. This is ADHD at its finest, both of us.
Got COVID at Kid Leroy.
Yeah, that's spewing.
Yeah, so I just
see a bit of Juice WRLD.
Yeah, Juice WRLD, just get 2 UE boom speakers in the hallway of my house. Mum and Dad hate it and just pump out song he's up in a bad song. He's sad. I just love him, man. Everyone at the club knows I love Juice WRLD.
Yeah, he's something about it's emotional, but it's vibey.
Yeah, of course. And I was that close last year. Hopefully, Mum and Dad don't listen to this. But I was that close. I was in Bali and I was better get a 999 tattoo. And I looked at it on my foot and that's horrific. So I ran off. But I love Juice WRLD. Pump that. Drive the car. Just get my mates' playlist up. And just pump it just as loud as I can.
Wow, that's a pretty mate, 10 shots at goal. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I was pretty bad, man. I used to go to get a wall and used to have to do a certain amount of ball, kicks against the wall off the no bouncing. Sometimes the ball could bounce 1 foot, both feet, the other foot before I could go home.
Oh, really?
Before I could go home. And sometimes sometimes my eyes would water because I'd be there for so long and I'm like, this is not good.
That's hard.
Yeah, this is
a round ball. It's hard. Obviously.
But for me, it's probably you kicking a set shot after a while. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it gets easier.
But it's still hard.
But I'm still why am I doing this? Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. Even Michael Jordan, the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah, the GOAT.
Yeah, he's the GOAT, yeah.
Yeah. Him Nikola Jokic. But
I
reckon he could come up there.
I reckon too.
Yeah,
I reckon Jokic should be on people's Mount Rushmore.
100%, man.
He plays like a point guard at 7 foot.
100%.
It's jokes.
Mate, they wouldn't be winning championships without him. Anyway, that's a completely different story. So I do that and I sort of get the ground. Then I go out straight away. 15, 20 shots just around the ground, sort of around there, and I run in. Got to be the first one on the ground, not at the ground, on the ground.
Yep.
Run in, like Steph Curry. He shoots it and runs in like.
Do you do that?
Yeah,
That's cool as fuck.
Take me top off while I'm running.
St Kilda need to fucking get that on the social media. That's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I love seeing that in the NBA.
I just copy stuff from other players, even though it probably doesn't.
It inspires you though, doesn't it?
Me, man.
I'm
on TikTok to 2 a.m. every night watching Steph Curry, Djokovic,
me too.
Haaland videos, just random stuff. And then my dad's got TikTok. He's addicted to TikTok. We just send TikToks. So anyway,
your old man's on it.
He loves it. I'm not sure why, but he loves it.
Man, what a guy.
Anyway, so so just do that, and then sort of got to get Guernsey on first. Walk around the rooms, just doing nothing. Then hard craft from one of my mates, Hunter or Gowie, down there, hands, and then sort of get on the ground. Don't really warm up. It feels mentals.
That's
mentals.
Interesting.
It feels like I'm wasting energy I don't have to waste.
Andrea Pirlo played for AC Milan. He wrote in his book, warm-ups are for fuckwits.
Love that.
Yeah, he used to go sports science. They're arrogant. They think we don't need them.
100%.
And I was like, oh, that's gangster.
Yeah, I love that.
I hate warming up.
Well, and that's the thing, mate. He's at his career where he's a superstar. You know what I mean? He could be smoking darts rolling on the ground. He's still going to play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Correct. He knows his body.
Yeah. But, sort of do that.
There you go.
And then, get ready. Don't really warm up. Just sort of jog through the stuff and then ready to rock and roll.
And then you go out and kick fives.
I wish.
Before we get into the Saints, I just want to go into your time at Richmond because so much happened in your career and your life there. It's crazy that you probably still have a really strong connection to that point and period of time and also probably developed you from a kid to a man in a way. But my thing was when I was just thinking about the timing and who you were and the players you played with, so many questions. But coming into a fucking dynasty, like that's pretty rare. There's not too many dynasties we've had in our lifetime, let alone like AFL history. Yeah. And you've just walked straight into the middle of one. Yep. I mean, was that intimidating at all?
Well,
it was exciting.
I got drafted and the boys just want a flag.
Yeah,
so
correct.
like it was awesome to see. Like had so many superstars around the grounds. Like, they did a good job to keep them. Like there was stars everywhere.
It was ridiculous.
And I'm
man.
just a young 18-year-old kid just trying to learn the ropes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really intimidating because that's all I sort of knew. I sort of linking it back to another sport. I sort of felt like I was not walking into something, but like I wanted to make a point, and I felt like I was walking into because they were top of the tree. Like the year before that they weren't too good, and the year before that, so I was thinking, I'm walking into like a Man City. You know what I mean? I got to break in.
That's what it's like, right? Yeah, essentially, right?
Yeah, you got stars everywhere.
Yeah,
like you had like Martin, like the list goes on. Like, you know what I mean?
What was it? Is it Shane Edwards?
Yeah, Shedder.
Mate, he was one of my favourite footy players for a long time.
Players, I reckon, ever.
He was so good to watch.
I loved
300
games. Like
did
superstar.
he really?
Yeah,
played 300 games.
Yeah, underrated.
Shane Edwards, we'd love to have you on the show, mate. You're a superstar. Underrated is what you said.
Yeah.
But you've summed it up beautifully. You walked into a Man City, a top 4 club, with just elite athletes and footballers everywhere. Definitely. What was sort of the feedback to you from the coaches and your mindset just to try and like break into the team at the start?
Yeah. Well, the feedback was so Tim was the coach at the time. I can't remember what the feedback from him was, but he was always pretty positive and stuff like that. I always knew it would be hard to break into this team. They just want a flag, so not going to really drop many people after winning a flag, or not drop, but like you'd have to be injured or something like that. So I just sort of stuck at it. I think I debuted really early in the year, maybe round 2 or 3. I can't remember, 3 maybe. And I just knew I just had to train hard, perform. I remember I was training at Richmond.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd drive across the Monash and I'd do an individual craft session.
Wow.
Outside the club. No one knew about it.
Wow.
I don't do that anymore, but I used to do it.
That's the level of what you knew.
That's the thing. If I work hard, I'm going to break in.
That's so awesome, bro. I love hearing that shit.
I'm going to break in.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that anymore because my body's getting older. But when I was 18, I could do whatever. And I was getting sort of held back with like the first years because I sort of try to ease you in. I'm like, nah, stuff this. I've been doing this the whole life. I'm going to go outside the club and
do extras.
Yeah. So I was that mentally focused, and I just remember watching the boys and training and learning, and I had some really good people around me, really good mentors outside the club, in the club. And I remember just looking at it as like, they had some awesome small forwards, and I just remember just trying to learn. I'm not much of a vision watcher. I'm more visual. Like if I see someone, I was
when you're out there. That's when you learn the most, I reckon.
100% in training. And I remember just sort of focusing. I'm like, if I'm going to break in, how am I going to break in? What's my role going to be? And I had some really good. I had Justin Lepage, who's now at Collingwood. He was really.
Yeah, but everyone loves him. At Collingwood.
He's awesome. Lepper, and he was really good forwards coach, and sort of told me what I needed to work on, what I needed to do, and I played the rest of the year. Yeah.
Wow.
And then played in the Collingwood when they rolled us. I thought, we were going to walk into a granny.
Well, you almost had 4, didn't you? Yeah, really? Like, it was crazy. Who was the player you learnt the most off, like, for your own game? I mean, you played next to Jack Jack Riewoldt for...
Jack's a way better player than I'll ever be, don't get me wrong. But I think me and Jack, we're not that athletic. He's not the fastest bloke.
He's not the tallest bloke,
but he's craft.
Yeah.
I think that's I think I'm not. I don't want to say small Jack Riewoldt because he's a superstar, but
you kind of are.
Yeah, but like I learned a lot off his craft. Watching him, how much he worked on his game, goal kicking, his craft work, and
so his skill level was just really high.
I think he's one of the most skilled players I've ever played with.
Really? Yeah, he was a dead-eye dick. Like, he set shots. He was awesome to watch how to set shots.
And he could sometimes leap. Like, he'd take a few hangers.
Yeah, he did too. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't think we've ever had anyone, I mean, we've done a lot of shows with footy players, but I don't think we've ever had a player on who's played with peak Dusty.
Yeah.
Like goated Dusty, really. I mean, Dane Swan, I say this every time I spit where Dusty's name comes to my mouth because he's the first one that put it in my head, but he goes best finals player ever. Like in the game. I mean, when you look at it, it's hard to knock that. Yeah. But just himself, like being on the field with him, what really, because we watch it, he looks powerful, he looks so good, but when you're out there, I beg to differ that it's way quicker and way faster and way more impressive when you're on the field with some of these players. Yeah, can you break that down for sort of the people that were watching him, what was so good about him when you were out on the MCG?
He's just a freak. Just his power, his kicking. I think he's really, in the media world or outside, he's an unbelievable kick.
Really? Doesn't get enough credit for it?
Enough credit, I reckon. He's a genuine superstar. Yeah. I remember 2 games I played with him. One was at the G against Hawthorn. We kicked that goal, running away.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, the way he could make the ball bend in the
it was like Gary Ablett, wasn't it?
Yeah. That, and then I remember we played up a game, maybe in Hub, and it was a horrific lead for me. It was horrific. I was going for the through ball and I was offside, mate. That's
I wanted that. What a metaphor.
Anyway, so he's running, he got the ball, and I'm like, I'm no chance to get this. He gets the ball in the middle, and I'm sort of pulling back on the lead because I'm no chance getting this ball. I'm in a horrific position. He kicks it on this outside of the foot. Travella shot.
Oh my God.
And the ball literally just, I'm like, I marked it. I'm like, I was a bit rattled when I marked it. I'm like,
it just
how
hit
you
you?
kicked it there? I don't think anyone else in the AFL could have done that.
Well,
maybe Whisper, but
well, you can do anything at the moment, can't you?
Yeah, or Naz.
Yeah,
Naz,
well, mate,
he's moved my joint today.
Is he really?
Yeah, that's why I did the potty, so I have to help him move.
I want to blow him up on this show because I want to speak about how I think he's unbelievable, that guy.
Yeah, he's a star. He'll play 300 games.
Yeah.
Quote me.
Yeah.
Maybe 400.
I hope, and I hope they're just in one colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely hope. He's that good. We're going to talk about Wanganeen-Ballera because he's a superstar. But just to stick with Richmond, probably should just ask you about Damien Hardwick as well because he's in the Alistair Clarkson conversation in regards to coaches of what they've achieved and potentially what he's looking to do up on the Gold Coast and so forth. But I admire him because he almost got the chop a few years before they started doing well. He had some adversity.
He was in the trenches.
Yeah, he was in the trenches. And then, mate, just absolutely blitzed it for 3-4 seasons.
Yeah, cool.
What was for you? You've worked with a few different coaches, but what stands out to you when you think back to him?
Yeah, well, how many years I had him after 3? I think just the way he communicated to the boys and always said a story.
Did he really? Storyteller?
Yeah, really good storyteller. I think the way he communicated to the lads and the way he told the story about what we're here for. I think it just sort of inspired a lot of people. I think obviously you got to have the cattle, but I think he was just really good technician of a coach. Yeah. I think Dim is a great coach, but I think his assistant coaches don't get enough credit.
Yeah. Is that like AFL in general?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like that because even with when Collingwood won last year, Fly, don't get me wrong, Fly apparently is the most unbelievable coach and people that speak about him only speak really high of him. But it does seem like they're Bolton and Lepage and some of the other guys and they do so much work.
Yeah, of course. Well, when I was at Richmond, we had an all-star cast. It was the starting 5 for the NBA All-Team. Yeah, Fly was VFL coach, Lepper was Ford's coach, Andrew McQualter, who was coaching Richmond last year.
He's apparently really highly regarded.
He's a star.
Yeah.
We had Truck Rudden as back coach. They've all gone to basically be senior coaches.
Wow. That's great. Yeah, that's like the Clarkson. Whoever worked under Clarkson, whoever worked under Dimmer, same thing.
He's a star. He's a great coach. You know what I mean? There's probably heaps others that
reel off.
Beveridge
as well. Wow.
Yeah, and then you got Dimmer. He worked under Clarko.
Yeah, he did too.
Yeah, and then the GOAT, Damien Cale, who works at St Kilda. Yeah. Best coach of all time, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah, I love him.
Is he the Sandy coach?
Nah, he's development coach.
Development coach.
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Shout out.
DC,
bro.
shout out.
Yeah. Well, you had a few, how did you feel just on field before we get into the off field stuff, but how did you feel? I felt like your time at Richmond, the way you played, and your impact was pretty impressive, i.e. because you walked into a Man City type sort of club with the elite.
Yeah.
So to be able to kind of crack with them and your probably personality, it seemed like you earned the respect of the dressing room as well, which is a cool thing.
It was cool, man. I was 18 at the time. If I was older like I'm now, I'd do stuff differently, 100%.
Yeah.
But it was. I think I was a bit immature. But that's just me, man. We both got ADHD. I haven't been tested. Maybe you have, but but yeah, I was a little kid in the candy shop. I was bounced off the walls, Michael Jackson. Great album. But it was just I was just a young kid who just tried to make his way, and some blokes will either like that, some blokes will hate it. I'm not here to try to please everyone. I'm just me, and if you don't like me, it's me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying people hated me at Richmond.
Nah,
you know what I mean? But like, I was just me.
I feel like you're the type of character which is why people will always end up loving you. Is you can only be one way.
Yeah, of course.
You could never be any other way.
No, I couldn't.
Like, it'd be too much effort, and you can't be fucked with that.
Yeah, I'd be cool.
Yeah, and your way of you is actually really likable because you're just kind of lively and fun, which leads me to. Your heart pumping 1,000 minutes per second, which is one of the greatest things ever come out of a mouth ever. But what people like, aside from that being a joke, the goal you kicked, fuck me.
Yeah.
You still stand by it wasn't a throw?
I still stand by it.
I kind of agree with you, but I mean, like, I think it's just the way.
I saw you in an Insta comment back in 2018.
No, it's because your body was behind like the goal as well, and the ball's in the air. That people probably think that, but. Yeah, that kind of goal sums you up a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think, it was just as Paul McCartney banned the run. It was just wings. I just literally looked up. I think Dustin or Jack was in a 1-on-1, and I sort of looked up and got the ball. It was against Collingwood. It was a big crowd as well.
Yeah.
I've looked up, it's like this thing was like right here at my nose.
Almost
and I'm
going
like,
to take it.
oh my God, what am I going to do? And I just split second.
Quick thinking.
And I just sort of got around it. And then, mate, I'll never do anything in my life. Like, I could be CEO for ANZ Bank or something like that. Like, nothing will ever top that.
As an achievement.
As an achievement. Not an achievement,
but just to be able to actually execute it.
To execute it, the feeling I got from it. Like, it was spoken for weeks.
It was goal of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was your first year?
First year, yeah.
Yeah, dude, has many people done that? It might be a couple.
Maybe, a few. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I think my goal this year was better than that one.
Yeah, you've kicked some fucking goals this year.
Yeah.
Your one against Collingwood when you were, if kind of maybe out of bounds, I don't know.
I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. I remember it was counted as a goal. So.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I actually did a reel on it. I was like, I've been having a dig at AFL's technology for a long time, which you don't talk about, but I can.
VAR.
VAR. It's shocking. Like, at least VAR, you can see the hairs on people's legs. Like AFL, like, you can't see where the fucking ball is or the hand is or the post, whether it's hit. But it worked in our favour for some regards. But yeah, you've kicked some pretty amazing goals. Just to go on, I mean, that's speech in itself. That's where people loved you.
Yeah.
When you just went up there, and even Jack Riot was like, "Oh, we'll give you the mic." Like, remember to take your teammates, and he was a bit nervous.
Yeah.
And then you just ripped out one of the greatest lines I've ever heard in my life.
In your life?
In my life. What was it? 1,000. I've got it here.
I can't remember.
1,000 minutes per second. My heart's pumping at. I mean, that's you can't write that, Jack.
You can't write that. And I thought I got it right. And I remember like all my mates were calling me. My phone was in my suit pocket, and I just felt it just buzzing. I'm like, please don't ring. Anyway, that shook me.
Fair enough. So they stitched you.
They stitched me.
See, that's what people don't know.
Anyway, heard it here first. And then the second thing was, I sort of just said it, and I thought it was right at the time. And I get back, and everyone's just like laughing. I'm like, oh, I thought it was a saying.
It is now.
It is now.
Yeah, it's fucking. That's been bloody copyrighted for sure.
Of course.
On a more serious note, you're like, from a football point of view, you've obviously learned a lot. You've been around like a premiership environment, which I think I love that when a premiership player or premiership environment players come to St Kilda. Yeah. We need that. Everyone needs that. It's just awesome to have. Hey guys, just a quick pause in this episode to compliment our partners of the show. You guys know that I've been sponsored and supported by Dabble, the gambling agency, for a while now. This place has a special place in my heart because it is like the social network of gambling. You can follow superstars of the game, copy their bets. You might not know so much about a certain sport, but you can copy someone who does and increase your chances of winning some money. Obviously, if you're not a gambler, please only bet what you can and are willing to lose. Please dabble safely, gamble responsibly, as we always say. Just so you guys know, this year I've been taking over the streaming space at Dabble every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Jake's Take is live. It is the wild, wild west of streaming. There's not too many sporting agencies or gambling agencies out there doing what we do. We put on a few bets throughout the show. We get some guests on. We have a lot of fun. It's all within the Dabble app. If you guys want to jump on board, the link is in the bio. Let's get back into the episode. Obviously, the stuff that happened with your brain and your head, like, I really want to go into that because is there part of you that's like grateful to be just doing what you do now when you think back to that time? Like, was there a period where you weren't sure whether you're you're going to get back on the footy field, or was it that serious?
Yeah, I thought it was cooked. I thought I'd never touch footy again. I remember the surgeon coming in, dad, mum, girlfriend, just all in tears, just like there's a chance he may not survive this. There's a chance he may lose his vision because you're with your head, man. Like your brain.
Fuck, you don't
your
fuck
brain,
with the brain.
Like, you touch something wrong, bro. It's like that game back in the day where you get a you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you cook, you get an electric,
fucking,
electric shock.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty scary time. I had some really good mentors around me. I remember I couldn't see properly out of my left eye for about 3 months because it was just blurred vision.
Wow.
I couldn't drive for a year. I wasn't living a normal life. I couldn't really watch TV. I just sort of had to have the TV on, just listen to the
sound.
Into the sound. Yeah, some pretty bad stuff, but
mate.
At the end of the day, I'm still kicking.
Well, I didn't know it was that bad. So, but can if you don't mind, can we just go into because I think the reason why I want to talk about it is because it's fucking amazing what you do now.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realised how severe it was.
Yeah.
Because as time goes, people forget about it. But it initially was just headaches in your mind, right? Like you were just getting big headaches. Or,
yeah. So the story goes, so I didn't know I had it, and then one game I was playing, I was driving home, and I remember I was at my girlfriend's house and parents' house, and I was driving home, and it's like I was driving home. I was like, I feel horrific. This is like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
I'm driving home on the thing. I'm like, my head, I can't see properly. I'm driving down the Penn Highway, and I remember I'm going to vomit. I can't see. I can't drive. So I've hopped out of the Penn Highway, put the
window down.
What's it called? No, the hazard lights. Too good over there.
Oh, you're in the middle of the road.
Yeah, middle of the road. Pulled over, just laid down, just on the middle of the road. I'm like, I feel like I've just been poisoned. And I remember just like laying there for 20. I'm like, Dad, you're gonna have to pick me up. He's like, yeah, just drive to the nearest. Can you drive? I'm like, I'll just 2 minutes away. Like, I'll just drive to the thing. And he's like, nah, don't drive. Just leave your car there. And I'm like, nah, I'm gritting. I'm going to drive it to like.
He's gritting on the road. I shouldn't laugh at that.
So I've just parked down to some side street. And I'm just laid there, and it felt like I've had 100 million beers. Like
really.
I was just in a state. I remember getting in the next morning, told the doctor this, that, other, and he's like, yeah, it's all right. So Dad was like, nah, he's getting the scan. Got into the
shout out your dad as well for that.
Yeah,
you had to move quick on that, didn't you?
Yeah, of course. Anyway, so I got into the what's that? Not Vic House. Amy Park. There was scanning.
Oh yeah,
thing.
the Olympic man.
Yeah, scan my head, and I was like, oh, I'll be fine. I was probably just a headache. Anyway, I remember I hadn't slept in like 24 hours, like since the game. I'm like, oh. Anyway, I remember waking up. I remember like 3 people just rushing. It's like, you're going to go to hospital now, like right now.
Holy fuck.
And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's not that bad. Like, I feel horrific, but I'm not like.
Yeah, I'm not dying.
I'm not dying.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, hospital now. So I remember Dad legally parked. Shout out the guys who didn't pick him up. Just got out the front. We zoomed off to St Vinny's Hospital. No, Epworth, sorry. The goats at Epworth. St Vinny's. Shout out to St Vinny's.
Yep.
And they'd be getting there, straight in the scan, straight into like the close. And it's like, got scans there straight away. It's like, you're booked in for surgery 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Wow.
Straight in the head. And I was just like a whirlwind. And everyone was like, messaging me, like, oh, you all good? And I'm like,
so what did they? Yeah, what they found brain bleeding.
Yeah,
right?
brain bleeding. Yeah.
So like, and then that was straight away. As soon as they saw that, they knew that they couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah, of course. So I had like, I don't know how long. The surgeon doesn't know how long. It could have been born with it, and then all of a sudden, just like all could have been during the week.
Hence why you said the comment before about school.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
You don't know.
I don't know if I was born with it anyway. So like, he got in there, did the thing anyway. So went up. So they through the hip flexor, like went up the goat Carlos thing.
All the way into they do
all the way, glued it. Was in ICU for about 4 days. Never felt so bad in my life. I actually like wanted to die.
Yeah, ICU's awful, bro.
Horrific, bro. People around me like
ICU, you've got a full-time nurse watching you.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I've been in ICU as well. Yeah. Fuck, man, it's the weirdest thing ever.
Like people next to me like crying. Like it was just
people dying. People dying in the same ward.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but
yeah. Well, no, someone did when I had an anaphylactic reaction to hip surgery. So I wasn't that bad, but I heard someone died the night I was going to bed.
So I think like the nurses and the doctors don't get enough credit as they do.
Nah, and there's a shortage of them as well, which is really hard. So you obviously had a successful surgery.
Yeah. Oh no, not the first one.
Not the first one. First one
that went up there. Anyway, come in for about 4 weeks later, I can't remember. Come in, scan the head, and then the surgeon's got this like worried look on his face. I'm like, oh my God. And he goes, the glue didn't stick, mate. You're going to have to come in again for your surgery. I'm like, I've never felt worse. I don't want to go through that pain again. Oh, no. It's like, this surgery, we're going to go.
That's a mental battle.
We're going to go more invasive. So the scar on my head, I had to glue it up. They had to cut me open, do it again. And funny enough, that surgery didn't hurt as much as the first one. I didn't feel as sick. My head was throbbing for about 4 weeks, right there. But no, I have that scar forever. I reckon it's cool, man.
I reckon it's a flex and a half. Yeah,
100%.
yeah. It's
I always say I got bitten by a shark.
Yeah, put a bit of mayo on that as time goes on.
Ten and Bondi.
Mate, what I didn't know about that was your recovery process. I didn't know it was that hard on you. I know you missed a lot of footy, but I didn't realize like you couldn't really see. Your vision was blurred. Like really sort of painful head for a while. Like that must have been like how did you get through that? Because that's fucking hard, bro.
Because I remember the boys just won the flag in 2019,
yeah.
And I remember getting that surgery, and they were playing finals at the time. And I rolled up to the granny. I was dust. I was on that many like medication. Like I was just like, I couldn't even see the ball. It was just like,
fuck.
And I just heard if Richmond scored, I just heard the crowd go up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it was Richmond versus GWS, so like massive Richmond crowd there. So like, anyway, we ended up winning, and it was a great result. And I remember just like after that day, I'm like, I want to play round one next year. I want to play round one next year.
So
I want to play
had a
round
goal.
one. Yeah, like that was my goal. I want to play round one. I didn't end up playing round one, but I played round one, and I only had about a month and a half pre-season, like contact, because I was out of contact. They wanted me to wear a helmet. I'm not wearing a helmet.
Look at that.
Anyway, so I rolled in and then didn't play round one. So my first game back, I played, it was like, I can't remember, because there was maybe a VFL scratch match or something like that. And then they went to COVID. And then round two, they had like a 6-week break. Round two, I played.
Wow.
And I was so flat because my parents, my family and girlfriend couldn't be there. But that's life, man. Like there's so many people going through worse stuff than me, man.
Well,
like,
bro, I beg to differ. That was challenge. That was life threatening.
Yeah, like, definitely.
That's what I don't think people fully got. Some people just thought like obviously it's brain bleeding, but I'm like, man, it's fucking when you operate on the brain, anything can happen.
Yeah. And like that's a not a cool thing, but I always get people like message me now who have brain bleed because they're a pretty rare thing. Like I think it's a really rare thing.
It's uncommon.
Yeah, uncommon. I always get people like I've gone through brain surgery or stuff like that, and it's like now I can't see out of my left eye. Not that it's cool, but like you know what I mean. Like there's people that done it worse, and I feel so bad for them. I'm just lucky I can walk, I can run, I can see, everything's back normal now.
Yeah.
I'm on tablets 2 times a day so I don't get seizures, but other than that, I'm normal.
Oh, wow. Well, happy days, bro. That's good. I'm glad the way you're playing. I mean, we should be checking those fucking tablets, mate. He's playing that well. But no, in all seriousness, bro, that was a tough period. And I equally like, what's even tougher is like, people, your team's winning a flag. It's like you probably could have earned the right to be out there with them the way your form is going as well. But like fucking the world throws, sometimes the devil turns up.
It's pretty cool. Like Dimmer, like that boys on the flag, and Dimmer gave me a massive like shout out in the rooms and stuff. I couldn't really see, but I was like, yeah, cheers, mate.
Do you remember what he said at all?
I can't. I think it's on YouTube somewhere hidden in the archives. I don't know, but it was pretty cool at the time. And I went to the after party, which was pretty cool. And I was like, get me out of here. But no, it was cool.
No, I love that. Well, what was for you when we just start to turn with a look at St Kilda? What was the reason? What was the catalyst for change, I guess, for you?
There was a few things. Just like I sort of wanted a fresh start. Like I thought, like I was in the 2020, I was in the team for the first 14 rounds and I was sort of out, and I sort of wanted not fresh, but look at eyes of me, but I had the brain injury. I sort of wanted a fresh start because I felt like I was sort of like just, they were always looking, you're doing well because you had this brain bleed. You've done so well to get back.
Yeah, there was a bit of caretaking.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
you just wanted to
I just wanted to let it go and start fresh and start the Saints. And Richmond's a great club, don't get me wrong, but I just wanted to start saying start fresh and sort of just build my journey again. You know what I mean? It feels like you get drafted again.
Yeah.
It's like going from Man City to Liverpool. You know what I mean?
100%.
You got a tiny bit of reputation, but you got to build your reputation up again.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Was there? I mean, it's probably a dumb question because everyone knows you're a St Kilda fan growing up. Like that footage of you with the Tim Tams. That's got to be so rare that's captured.
Yeah,
it's just like been identified as you.
Well, it's weird because I didn't know the guy who held me up. Like he was just a random guy.
I didn't know
and he gave me a Tim Tam. I'm not sure.
I'm not going to say my next comment. That's fucking insane.
And then there's a vision of me. So Fox Footy cut it up. This is how smart the media is in Fox Footy and Murdoch Media. They cut it out. So it wasn't a very well goal against the Dogs. But they've cut it up. So I'm in the crowd celebrating one of my mates back in the day, and they've stitched two together. Wow. It was about 2 goals before that.
Oh, okay.
Because me and my dad my dad and mum, being huge St Kilda fans, they used to get to the MCC, the members, and line up at 8 a.m. so we get the best seats, and I'd roll in at 6:40 and and get mum to get me at the front, and I'd roll in and get the seats. But yeah, like St Kilda, like even now when they're talking about it, like it's cool. But when they go back to when Ross is talking about 09, 08, like them days, or 10, my ears prick up.
You turn into a fan.
Yeah, you
go out of being Jack Higgins to a fan.
I was chatting to a bloke the other day, and he was like, "Oh, my uncle's this bloke." I'm like, "Oh, I remember him. He's like by the 4 games St Kilda. I remember him being big full forward. You know what I mean? Like,
who was it?
Oh, I can't remember. It was too long ago. But I'm so. But when it comes to sports stuff, like you played like 30 games at Adelaide. You know what I mean? Like,
you know that. It's crazy, bro.
I just know like
sports
stats.
Yeah, you would have been one of those guys, probably like me, when I was so crazy on the States, early 2000s as a kid. I used to know like 1 to 48.
I reckon
names.
I reckon there was a time in the AFL where I knew when it was probably about 14, 15, I knew every player on every list.
Oh, wow.
Didn't matter if they were a rookie or...
So you're obsessed in a way.
I was obsessed.
But in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah. It wasn't unhealthy. It was just because you loved it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And I was a young kid and that's all I wanted to do. He was play AFL footy. So I was like... I remember watching Steve Milne, the GOAT, kicking goals. I was there at the game when he kicked 8 or 9 or whatever, how many he kicked. Like, me and my dad went to like 9 of the 21 Saints games. We went to every home game at Melbourne.
That's amazing. So was there, this might be, that's why I said this might be a dumb question, but was there any other club that was like, I assume that wasn't just St Kilda, but in your mind, was it always St Kilda? Or was like, because naturally what people don't realise when you're a professional athlete and you're in those positions where you're moving clubs, even if you're going to re-sign a contract, because it's such a business, like you actually have to meet with teams and get like different things because you've also got to secure your own future and what you do. But it's kind of it's hard to think that you could have ever played for anyone else now that now you know your Saints history.
Yeah, well, it's weird. Like I always look back on it and I'm like for me, it's like it's cool I played for the club I barracked for, but like I look back, like if I look back 15 years ago when I was 10 and go, you'd be playing for St Kilda, like mate, I used to have dreams. This is how weird I am. I'm a weird operator. I'm a different operator. I used to have dreams that someone would go down at halftime and they'd pull some random kid off the ground. The random kid was me and I'd dominate. That's like when I was like 10 watching the Saints play.
That's awesome, bro. My goal, my dream in life at one point before I turned to soccer was to play for St Kilda and wear number 35.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do. All I wanted to do. I wanted to wear 35.
Yeah.
He was that good.
No,
so I had a similar thing.
I miss his era because I was a bit... You're a bit, yeah. I saw him back end.
But even then, I just really, I was like 97, 98 when he won the Brownlows. Like I was fucking 4 and 5, so I don't remember that.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I just know, like he played for so long.
Yeah.
So I got to see some of it, and it was like every time he touched the ball, he's still fit. Like he was slowing down, but he could run out games.
Yeah.
And he's kicking like he lost his distance a little bit, so it was just bullets into for like 50 for Rewalt and stuff. And Gary,
he's my forwards coach now, so it's whack.
Hey, that's great. Yeah. Well, actually, what's it like working with Robert Harvey?
Yeah, star. Like really good, great coach.
Yeah,
like, just really, he knows what he's talking about, but he's really good at connecting.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's really good connecting piece. And then like we've got halves down there.
Yeah, but you've got
other halves. Sorry, we got
Lenny Hayes,
BJ.
Can you talk me through the GOAT coaching, like just operation at St Kilda? Like when that came together, was it last year? Was it last year, the first year?
Last year,
yeah. But what was just the like Saints fan and also from an actual like execution operational point of view, like what was that like coming into? Because I remember when Filippo got
walked
drafted.
in.
He walked in, and it's literally like Lenny Hayes, Goddard, Robert Harvey just greet him at the door, and he's like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, of course. It was awesome. But I think I grew up a bit and I was sort of been in the system for a lot longer, so I sort of
you had a bit more about you.
Not about me, but I always knew you'd have sort of superstar players as coaches.
Yeah.
But it was still awesome, man. Like every time they talk about like 09, 010, like it's unbelievable, and it's because I was a diehard Saints fan, and it's sort of like, geez, man, that's like I wish I could go back and play in that time.
Yeah,
me and Milne.
I reckon if you played in 2010, we'd win. We would.
Yeah. Oh no.
No, we would. I've got a few things about it. I loved that era as a St Kilda fan. I reckon we'd start some seasons where we'd be like 13 games unbeaten.
Yeah, we did.
It was fucking cool.
I think we were like 18-0 or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous. It was really like we needed a clip. We needed a clip.
I know I got rolled by Essendon one day at Idiad.
See, I reckon you would know that too.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I remember Dustin Martin did a massive barrel. I think that was true.
Oh, wow. There you go. But just going in, one thing I always like asking people, I'm pretty sure I asked Mason Wood this. I can't remember who he said, but when you go into a new footy club, that you would have played against most of the players at the club, but there's always a few players that you don't realise how good they are until you're there with them, training every day, and then you play with them. Who were some of those players for you that, like, when you got there, you're like, fuck, this guy's elite?
Well, the superstars of the game, Wilkie and Sinclair, and Steely. I think obviously like you only play blokes once a year, and like when you're on another team, you don't really watch St Kilda. Like you still like them, but you don't really care for them. That makes sense. You're like this other team,
you can't barrack for another team.
It's like you probably Melbourne Victory. You know what I mean? Like you're playing Adelaide, you're not going, there's Bessard.
How are you, bros? Yeah.
So you sort of watch them and but you don't really watch them closely. But like just Wilkie's body work, Cinco he kicks the ball, and the way he like moves around the ground.
Ever since you've been there, he's practically won the BNF like
two years.
2 years in a row now.
And then just still he's just the ball, just tackles,
Yeah.
gets the ball, dishes it out. Like
But how would you frame our sort of team now for the Saints fans? Because it just feels like we have such a young brigade of players coming through. And it's really exciting because like Wanganeen Malira, like he's going to be an All-Australian lock for
five-time plus.
Yeah, like I honestly, bro, he's going to have a crazy career if he's sort of everything. Then you got Max King. Hopefully Philippo's gets going like he has been. He's I thought he was a steal at pick 10, but just your assessment on these young guys because they're really developing. They're getting a lot of games in some of them as well.
No, I think we got a really good young brigade down at the Saints. It's just they're really good. But we want to keep on seeing them develop like anything. You know what I mean? They're really good players and they're going to be very good players for a long time for St Kilda, hopefully. But we always want to keep seeing them developing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can be a good player when you're 18, 19, but let's see what you are when you're 26. You know what I mean? There's many people like that, but they're going to be very good players. Like you can see the way they work, the way their ethic is at the club, around the club, how hard they train. Like Mitch Owen's another young player.
Mitch Owen, fuck me,
Yeah. Like you got blokes probably haven't even seen before. You know what I mean? Like playing the VFL, they're going to be very good players. Like you can see something in them. You know what I mean?
And just on Rossi, I mean, fuck, you've worked with some pretty good coaches. I mean, your career, what's it been? Dimmer, Brett Ratton, and then Ross Lyon.
Yeah.
What's he like? I mean, his standards, he seems like he's...
Yeah, I love him.
Seems like he's a bit more like, as much as he's ruthless and the image that he has in the media, just seeing him around Triple M and some of the media stuff the Saints do, seems like he's a bit of a character as well.
He is. Me and Ross get on really well. I think he likes my banner.
He would love you.
He's awesome. He's so smart. He's so tactical. He has high standards and he expects it from his players. You know what I mean? It's just sort of like Ants Postecoglou, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like he expects it from his players.
Yeah.
And if you don't really do it, then you get someone else who can. You know what I mean? He has high standards.
Yeah.
But what I've sort of learned off Ross is that he keeps everyone accountable. Doesn't matter if you're the best player on the list or the 44th player on the list or whatever, how many people on the list. Like he keeps everyone accountable. Doesn't matter what you've done in your career. Like, you could have prime Chris Judd in there. He'd treat number one like he's number 45. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I like that as well. I've got a bit of a fun game before we round out here because I reckon you'll be fun at this. So there's going to be some rapid fire questions on just around the AFL. But who best kick in the game?
Naz.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he on Dacos level? Like, are they Dacos and I feel like the Dacos boys have got great kicks, but Wangeli Malira, he's like a bullet pass.
The Dacos boys are good. I love Nick and Josh.
Yeah.
I played Chargers with Josh. And,
Did you?
Yeah, I
good
remember
lads, bro.
seeing Nick Dacos when he was like 11, 12, man.
Really?
I remember, yeah, it was so crazy. Now he's a superstar.
Yeah, he's going to be
One of the
good.
best players in the league. Fitty, but probably no. So I don't know.
Your hardest opponent you've had in your career?
Hardest opponent I've had in my career. I played on a prime Alex Rance when I was at Richmond training, and that was.
Yeah, that would have been
But
tough.
Cal Wilkie's also hard. I reckon
The accountant.
yeah. He's body work, but Rance is technical. Bro, it was like watching Del Piero in his prime. He's so technical, man.
Was his what?
Body work, craft, knowing when to come off, like.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. If outside of Jack Higgins, if you had a set shot from 40 out directly in front, who you giving the ball to?
Hunter Clark.
Hunter Clark.
Yeah, mate.
I love Hunter Clark.
Yeah, he's a star, bro.
He's a
I love
superstar.
him, man.
Left and right foot.
Yeah, mate. His left foot is so underrated.
Shout out Hunter Clark.
5 star.
Best inside player you've played with?
What do you mean, like
Just going in, getting the ball, doing the dirty work.
Steely?
The stuff that I would never want to do as a soccer player.
Steely. Presti was pretty good. I'm trying to think of the old players I've played with.
You played with some Jets.
Yeah, but
They were more giving
Koch.
Koch, yeah.
Koch is, I'll never forget that goal we kicked against Geelong. We turned goal.
Scary player.
Yeah.
Scary player. What was my other one I had for you? But you kind of said this for Jack Rewalt, but most skilled, like all round.
Most skilled.
All round game that you like. This guy's, if you wanted to create a perfect AFL footballer, he's kind of got all the traits of that.
I played with or?
This is just around the game. Just because I know you watch a lot of footy, so you're probably aware of like what's going on.
If I wanted to be one player?
Yeah, if you wanted to be one player. Like if you're a kid coming up, you're like, that's the kind of player you probably want to be like because they're all round.
Probably Chad Warner and Nick Dacos.
Wow, Chad Warner. Yeah, he's
speed, man.
Yeah.
And kick it. Mate, he played against us maybe about a month ago and he kicked 2 goals, speed goal.
Bang. He's lightning quick,
He's lightning, man. He'd have FIFA card, 96 pace, I reckon.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. All right, so what's your favourite ground outside of Melbourne? Because obviously MCG and Marbles.
Favourite ground outside Melbourne? I love playing up at the Gold Coast.
Oh, yeah. I was there the other way. It's fucking cool stadium.
What are you doing there?
I was watching the Pies. I was up there for a few days anyway, but I just went and watched Collingwood. Yeah, which was one of the games of the year. It was awesome. Yeah. All right, final one from me. This is what we ask everyone who comes on the podcast. So I'm going to try to break this down because I feel like I haven't been doing it well lately with guests, but we attest 3 key traits to success across, like, say, for footy. And all 3 you, Jack Higgins, would have, but just the one that stands out to you the most across your career. So resilience, drive, or ambition. Which one of those has been like, without that, you wouldn't be, doing what you're doing at St Kilda?
Ambition.
Ambition. Yeah. Were you an ambitious kid growing up?
Yeah.
You played a lot of footy.
And I think I played a lot of footy, but I had really good mentors around me that sort of led me into the right direction.
Wow.
And made me ambitious because I felt like they led me in the right direction to get to places where I am now. So I felt like they gave me a sounding board where I could sort of speak to them if I wasn't playing well, if I was playing good, like they'd sort of keep me leveled or pump me up.
Yeah. I didn't ask this before. That was really well answered, by the way, because people really struggle. They don't really struggle. They pick something, but the way they break it down tells you how people know their shit. That was really good.
Thank you.
Just also, do you feel you're a fan favourite at St Kilda? Do you feel that energy? Because you are. Or do you try and just like, are you all business or have you grasped that like your boyhood club, you're actually loved by all fucking 50,000 members or whatever?
50,000. I actually don't really know, man, because like I obviously love the fan stuff, but I'm so focused and so locked in on what I need to do.
Yeah, you kind of can't.
And I don't really go on Instagram.
Yeah,
like I don't really go on Facebook. Like I just sort of just go on TikTok and I just
airy fairy.
Yeah, airy fairy. So I don't really see the outside noise, but yeah, it's cool being a fan favourite. But like I know at the end of the day, I'm there to do a job. Yeah, and do it's the best. So St Kilda be successful. Mate,
well, we're so happy to have you, mate. Love that you come on the show. Love that you're a long-time listener, A-League fan, but also glad to have you in the Saints colours, mate, and looking forward for a big rest of the year.
No, buddy, thank you.
Hey, guys, appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next week.